What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the After Hours Podcast. My name is MrJ Gilbert, and as always, we got our lovely co-host, Schmidtty32, ready to bring you all the things and the stuffs in the greatest way possible. Schmidty, go ahead and introduce yourself for all of our viewers out there.
Welcome on in, people. Welcome to another episode of the After Hours Podcast. I'm Schmidtty32, variety Twitch streamer and also charity streamer, currently raising money and awareness for Mental Health America of Ohio. We stream Tuesdays through Saturdays, do a variety of games, but right now we're really all about the democracy, all about the Helldivers right now. We're going to be getting into more on that later, but welcome on in. I hope you're all doing well. You can find me at twitch.tv/Schmidtty32 if you're interested in checking out what we have to offer. Hope to see you around.
Perfect. My name is MrJ Gilbert. I am a teacher by day, streamer by night. I stream a lot of community-style games to where if there's an open spot, would love to have you. Love to play with you sometime. Lately, I've been kind of streaming Skull and Bones and Helldivers and sprinkling in a little RPGs in there from time to time as well. But I stream every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So I hope to see you guys there and maybe get some games in. Sir?
Beautiful.
Did I steal the topic from you that you were going to talk about?
No.
Really?
And I'm actually, I'm in an area of the state, I'm oversaturated. And I was actually just talking to Dog Mom this morning that I'm like, you know what? I can't wait for this all to be over.
No.
Because that
we
is
just have two more games
on everyone's breath. So explain to everyone what we're talking about.
All right, guys. The first segment that I always like to start off with the podcast is what's on your mind, and what's on my mind is probably the what's on majority of everybody in the nation's mind, and that's Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes do it again. Just knock off LSU, go into the Final Four against UConn, and they're just riding this hot streak. And Caitlin is just taking the nation by storm.
Right? Did I see that end score right? Did I see that?
97. Wait, no.
Like
90,
54 or something?
No, it was like 84 or something like that. We only beat them by like 7 or 8. It was like 90,
okay,
97,
looking at something
94,
like,
87 or something like that.
We beat them to like from like, I thought it was like 93 to like 56, and I was like, there's no fucking way we crushed them.
It was like
that.
90
like,
right, it was like 94 to 87 or something like that.
But we're talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team. For those that may not know who Caitlin Clark is and what she's been doing right now. But yeah, she's kind of the star player for the Iowa Hawkeyes for the women's basketball team, and it is just absolutely erupted. I mean, not only in the state, but yeah, it is kind of become a nationwide like thing. But I'm in an area where it's just like, I was at work the other day, dude, and everyone was talking about, oh my God, I wonder what shoes she's going to wear tonight. Is she going to wear like these types of Jordans or those types of Jordan? And I'm just like, I really don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just not much into basketball at the end of the day. Like,
right.
I didn't even know that the finals were different from the NCAA, or like the Big Ten was different from the NCAA.
Sure.
Because I thought it was over when they won the Big Ten.
Oh, right.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, women's basketball, and I was like, wait, isn't it over?
Right. But one thing that you have to appreciate is when you think of March Madness right now, end of basketball season, the major tournament, who knows a damn thing about the men's team? All anyone is ever talking about is the women's and Caitlin Clark. Like, how
broke every record. Like,
how just like awesome is that though? You know what I'm saying? That like women's sports are now getting a recognition, getting a name for themselves, and like they're kind of getting put on the map.
Oh, 100%. You know? I've said that time and time again on the podcast here that, like, Caitlin Clark has done just amazing things, not only for, as I said before, women's basketball, but I mean just women's sports in general. Like, you get more hype and talk about Caitlin Clark right now than I hear about LeBron James. Like, it's just like,
yes,
Now this is just where my specific like personality comes in and why it took me 7 years to watch Game of Thrones. When things become like so popular on like a deity type level where it's just like people live and breathe by like this particular thing, I'm just like, I can't. Like, I'm over it. I'm tired.
Oh, of like you're just tired of Caitlyn because she's so hyped.
Just all it is, and it's just like that's all I hear about, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm over it. Like when things become so popular, and it was like Game of Thrones. I don't know what day of the week it aired, but like the next day at work, that's all anyone talked about for like 2 days. It was like, oh, did you watch Game of Thrones? And I'm just like, oh my god, dude, you're like, ugh.
I mean.
And it's kind of like it's kind of my Helldivers, you know. I'm just,
that's what I'm saying. Kind of hypocritical because isn't everybody all about isn't everyone all about Helldivers right now? Like
I don't want to talk
it's the same thing.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, we'll talk about that later. My biggest thing, and then we'll get to what's on your mind. My biggest thing is since 1994, okay, none of my teams have like won the big game, like Super Bowl, national championship, like all of that, right? And like finally this year, Iowa has a chance to truly, for the first time in history, win the national championship. So it's like I've never really followed the women's side of basketball except for the last couple years, you know.
I was gonna say last season was the first one that I was like
But it's like
really
it's nice. It's nice like rooting for the hometown team and them like having a chance to finally like bring it home for the state.
Right.
You know? Cuz Niners can't freaking beat anybody in the Super Bowl nowadays.
Yeah, and Eagles like they're in danger. They're pretty much dead.
Yeah. So it's an endangered species right now at this point.
Yeah, endangered species. I don't trust it.
Well, what's on your mind, Schmidty?
You know, this was kind of something that just kind of popped up. I didn't even know was on the at least my radar. I don't know about other people's, but Borderlands. I know you've talked about it as well. How you know, you're a fan.
Yep.
We've talked about it as being kind of a great franchise, you know, altogether. Although these last couple, like kind of 2 have been a little. 3 was all right, and then
it became too much.
It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that Embracer. So anyway, Embracer Group, who owns the Borderlands and the Gearbox franchises, they were recently sold to Take-Two Entertainment, who also owns 2K, which owned Borderlands back in Borderlands 2, like 1 and 2.
Okay.
So I'm almost wondering if like the Borderlands franchise is going back to its, you know, could potentially go back to its origins here.
Sure.
Because I was doing a little research because I was like, God, I feel like I know that. And yeah, Take-Two owns 2K, which did Borderlands 2.
Sure.
So Embracer bought it 3 years ago. So at least the debacle that was Tiny Tina's Wonderland or whatever it was called. I was kind of mixing it mental up with the Assault on Dragon Keep. That's how much it means to me right now. I don't care about it. But
it kind of sucks though.
It really flopped, dude. It was just such a flat game. I guess the overall campaign was good, but the end game wasn't very good. And the DLCs, man.
Right.
A joke. An absolute, because you remember Borderlands 1 and 2, the DLCs were like practically like, you know, half of a whole nother game that came out, or at least like they were huge. You could get easily 8, 10, 15 hours out of that. The literal DLC for that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, that first one for $10 took 10 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
To beat. 10 minutes. That was it.
Well, it just kind of sucks that like they bought it originally for $1.3 billion, but are selling it for half of that. They lost half of their money.
Yeah, 440 to 460, something like that. Or something like that.
Man.
But no bueno. So I don't know. I don't know whether to feel like more hopeful or more discouraged that it's like could it potentially go kind of back to its roots if 2K is back in it? Could we get an actual like worth it sequel to Borderlands 2?
I mean, if you think about the money on that, they're still up like 800. They're still up like $800 million. You know what I'm saying?
Fuji's like, hi, dog mom. Sorry about that.
Nah, because if they sold it for $1.3 billion, right? And then bought it back for 400 million. They're still like 800 million up. So they could sink a lot of money into another Borderlands to try to like revive it back to its glory days.
Right.
It might be a good business deal.
Borderlands 2 is probably one of the few games that I ever logged, upwards of 1,000, if not more, hours into. Yeah. It was just one of those games that I could not put down.
Yep.
And I loved the farm. I loved the grind and the story. It was just, I didn't mind if I heard the jokes 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. Like, it was just always a good time.
Yeah, man.
Always a good time.
Yeah.
Always have fun memories. So who knows? Yeah. So Borderlands is sold back to Take-Two 2K.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Man, let's get into some discussion topics, and we'll just rip the Band-Aid off. All right. We'll get right into the biggest topic of the night. The one that you're,
I was just ripping the Band-Aid off. This is what we would call the meat and potatoes here.
Well, but here's the thing. Usually we save like the biggest story to last, right? That's why I'm like ripping it off, because like I don't know.
Let's just get it. Well, after this, the rest of the podcast is going to suck. So basically, pay attention now.
Focus now, then you can tune out.
Focus, and then tune out. Go back to whatever you were doing before. That's okay.
Oh, gosh. Helldivers 2 just got a massive, it seems, update. Do you want to talk about it? And then I'll kind of give my take.
So, I don't think anyone, and this is one thing, again, I love about Helldivers, is I don't think anyone planned this.
Sure.
Expected this. I love how they just randomly like drop stuff and how active they are in implementing the changes that the community is looking for. Now, the big word today, buffs, and buffs.
What, like me? Buff? Is that what you're saying?
The community was like, buff these weapons. We want to feel more powerful.
Sure.
We want, like, we appreciate the challenge, but come on, throw me just a little bit of a frickin' bone here. So they did update a lot of weapons and stuff, and some of the armor has been updated as well. So I'd have to go look again for specifics. But here, let me take a
arc thrower looks like anti-material rifle. Dominator,
like
slugger,
the
liberator.
The arc thrower did get kind of a little bit of a nerf. So it does have a shorter charge time and a more consistent, but they did reduce the distance that damage does by 15 meters. So from 50 meters to 35, but they did increase the stagger force. So they are going to be closer, but with them being closer before you can hit them, but having that increased stagger force, that will also buy you that extra second and a half that you would have had before. So you can look at it as a nerf, but it really didn't do anything to improve it.
Right.
The guard dog, I think, was kind of cool, that how it would have to reload off your backpack and stuff like that, or it would have to like kind of go back in and reload for a little while. It does almost kind of look like that when you get a supply box, that might actually restock your
help
guard
reload
ammo.
It. Good. What is this?
I was at.
Go on.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying from the title itself, they have blizzards and sandstorms now. Yep. on the planets. Yep. Does that do you take damage from that, or just like affect your stamina?
It would affect your stamina if you are using like the sickle. If you are on a cold planet and stuff like that, like it will overheat slower. So that's not actually a bad thing.
Sure.
But the sandstorm, no, I think it'll just like make you walk slower, stuff like that.
And there's a level cap increase too.
Yep, from 50 to 150 or
175. I don't know how I feel about that. Why is there such a big jump? Like, if you go from 50 to 100, fine. But like, why 100 levels?
Well, I think it's purely for the comical names that are going to be attached, like how we have like the Star Admiral and Death Captain. There is one where it was like a remarkable reconciler or something like that. Like, I think there's going to be some just like
a bunch of.
I'm just excited to have the title. Honestly, that's to be like, I'm level 175. I have the 175 title, or I have the level 100.
Sure.
Like, I like just having the pure title, even though it does absolutely nothing for me. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah, what did it say? It was going to be raising, from level 50 to 150.
Okay.
And so there's some funny things, but it does look like the anti-material rifle, which I actually was just putzing around with, the damage increased by 30%. The breaker incendiary shotgun, which in my opinion always was a little lacking compared to like kind of the other breakers, but it looks like their damage per bullet was increased from 15 to 20, and the fire damage per tick increased by 50%, not 10%, not 25%, increased by 50% from all sources. So not only is each bullet on there going to do more damage, but the incendiary damage afterwards is just going to eat away at things.
Okay.
So I'm really kind of curious about that. The Liberty or the Liberator Penetrator now has a full auto mode, which is actually the primary weapon I was just checking out, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm probably still going to stick with my sickle until I get my Scorcher unlocked. Once I get the Scorcher, that might be my new thing. We'll see. Otherwise, what I have been hearing preliminary online is the Dominator is now the new meta.
Really?
The Dominator meta is now, from what I hear, the kind of like the whatever sniper rifle. So its damage was increased from 200 to 300, which is big. And it increased the stagger as well.
So you better be good with a sniper rifle.
I've been hearing that's kind of the new thing. That's the new slapper right now. The Diligence counter sniper increased armor penetration from light to medium. The Slugger had some minor reductions, reduced its stagger, reduced its damage, reduced its overall demolition force. And then it said it fixed the armor penetration tag in the menu, which I guess I didn't realize that some of those might have been incorrect, because it looks like not only the Slugger, but Liberator, Concussive, and the Senator also had an incorrect armor penetration tag when you looked at it in the menu. It also looks like Recoilless Rifle got a big buff. Increase the number of rockets you can restore from the supply boxes from 2 to 3, so extra shot, never a bad thing.
Never.
The Spear, which is one of the most powerful kind of missiles or rocket launchers in the game, and that was always this biggest downfall, is you only had one shot, unless somebody had a supply pack to resupply you. But now you go from having only 1 to 2, so now you can carry, it looks like, increase the number of missiles you can restore from supply boxes from 1 to 2.
That's good.
And then the heavy machine gun, its fire rate just got kind of nerfed a little bit from 1200 to 950. Otherwise, those are kind of the big changes. There are some enemy changes as well, where the bile spewers and nursing spewers, both those things that spit at you. Remember the mortar guys?
I hate them.
Their puke does less damage now.
Good. F them.
They have nerfed them. The Bile Titan can no longer be stunned, so you can no longer use stun grenades, which is a little bit of a bummer, because it was always nice for a dyslexic to do that and
slow it down a little bit.
Drop something on it. Shriekers will no longer create bug breaches, which is great, man, because dealing with Shriekers is enough. My personal favorite when it comes to the Shriekers hitting you while they are dead now does significantly less damage, so they will not aerial bomb you into oblivion. I don't know if you experienced that at all.
I haven't done with the flyers yet, no.
But yeah, so essentially you'd shoot them out of the sky, and as their dead body lay limp, falling down towards the ground, if it happened to hit you, it was an instant one shot. Like it showed one of those taking out a Bile Titan in one shot. Like they shot the
that was a bug, you said?
Yeah. I don't think they intended for the fall damage to do that much, but yeah, if you were to shoot a Shrieker out of the sky, and if that dead Shrieker fell into a Bile Titan, it would kill it in one shot.
Ooh.
So when you'd have like 10 of them above you, and you'd shoot them, and then it was like little cluster bombs falling at you, because if they hit you, you were dead.
Yeah.
So it was not fun, but they do significantly less damage now as they are dead and falling towards your body. I appreciate that.
So overall, thumbs up or thumbs down where we're at with this update?
I think thumbs up.
Yeah.
I'm definitely in thumbs up territory.
Okay.
The community has been asking for buffs, and a lot of the posts that I've been seeing on this is that's exactly what the community's saying, is that we asked for buffs and you gave us some buffs.
Yeah.
So in just a little bit, I've been playing around with the anti-material rifle.
Sure.
It's been slapping. I've really been enjoying it. Enjoying it.
You know what else gets a thumbs up though? Skull and Bones.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
No, we're at the point now where we're at the end point of the season. Well, there's still like 50 days left in the season, and there's nothing new that is like there to grind for. Do you see what I'm saying? So I feel like
dead game.
Well, I mean, I feel like they front loaded the game a lot.
Well,
and
what about the
now
ship with all the poison that you kept going into?
I've already beaten him multiple times, and I've already gotten all of his cosmetic drops.
I don't remember. I just saw you die to him a bunch of times.
Yeah, he's a tough fight, but like, yeah, I already got all his cosmetic drops and stuff. So there is one boss that I haven't got all his cosmetic. That's the newest one that just dropped. So I'll still farm him a couple times. But I feel like they either didn't space out the seasons well enough or add enough in it, because they front loaded it a lot, and there's a lot to do for the first part of it. But now we're at like 50 days left, and I'm pretty much happy.
Have you seen the Megalodon?
That's season 2.
Okay, what's this one? Have you seen the creature in this one?
Yes. It's the Zama Harubi. It's like a big crocodile type, oversized one.
Have you beaten it?
Yeah. And then there's a cosmetic set that comes with that. And I have all of the pieces except for the head of the hat. So it'll come back around in like a week or so. So I pretty much have almost everything unlocked that I can at this point. So now I'm just kind of getting on for like half hour or so, doing some pieces of 8 run, and then just logging off, because like I have nothing else to kind of like do right now until more content comes out. So I just feel like they need to kind of space it out a little bit more to kind of keep everybody in it throughout the whole season. So but all right, man.
Yeah, I didn't know about this next one. Tell me about Marvel Rivals.
OMG. So have you ever played Overwatch?
Yeah. Well,
are you a fan?
I don't know whether
of Overwatch.
I'm not a huge fan of like those genre of games.
So coming up, there is and I think in May or over the summer or something like that, they Marvel Rivals is coming, and it's literally just like Overwatch, but you're fighting as the Marvel heroes. Right. So if you're familiar with Overwatch style gameplay, that's what Marvel Rivals is. And I've never really liked Overwatch for the fact of there's so much animations and abilities and things going on at the screen at all times. It's just very like overwhelming and distracting. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Right, yeah.
Like there's always explosions and then healing crosses, and then there's little like like I don't know, like neon slashes, and there's just so much things always going on all over the screen all the time, and I feel like it's just too much.
Right.
So I never got into Overwatch, but that's what Marvel Rivals is. But it's Marvel game, Marvel Heroes, in an Overwatch style game. But I do think it's kind of cool because you have like the heroes that you can team up with, right? They actually do team ability. So for example, Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket and Groot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If on the team, I think it's 6v6 too, is like what Marvel Rivals is. But if somebody on your team has Rocket and somebody on your team has Groot, whenever your abilities or whenever your like super ability like charges up, you can actually team up together and you do a super ability together that's like twice as strong.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Does that make sense?
Well, I'm actually watching the trailer for it now.
Yeah.
And I definitely get what you're saying, and I'm just like this doesn't necessarily seem like my style of game.
Same. That's because I never really got into Overwatch, and I feel like this is playing just like it looks, just like how Overwatch would play.
Just like that Overwatch, Valorant, like same shit.
Yep.
Just reskinned to be Marvel.
Yep.
In fact, the maps like animation style, like the map, like exactly like that.
So anyway, I mean, a lot of people are excited for it. I know your Crit City J actually signed up for the alpha of it, so he's going to try to beta test or beta of it. So we can try to beta test it coming up soon. And again, it looks interesting. Some of the mechanics are cool, but then I just don't know if I can get past the Overwatch style of the game if I'm gonna get into it or not.
Right. Did you ever play Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah, isn't that a phone
Xbox?
game?
No, it's that's I think you're thinking of Marvel Strike Force.
Oh, I am Strike. Yes, I played a lot of Strike Force.
I've logged a lot of hours into that game.
Yes.
But yeah, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, it's like a Diablo style game, but you can walk around, or it's like an ARPG, and you can walk around with like teams of 4, and you can control one at a time or play on a team of 4. But you each have your own skills and abilities that your powers that you can level up and become stronger as you level up. But they have synergies with the other heroes, where it was like if you had Captain America and Iron Man on your team, they could combo up, once they had enough combo energy to like where he could do his big chest laser beam off the shield and hit like multiple enemies.
I'm looking it up right now.
A lot of cool interactions. I love that game. I really wish they'd come out with another one.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now, and it does look familiar. So
incredible.
I played at least one of them for a little bit because it does look familiar.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's definitely not like that. It's more of an Overwatch style game. But anyway,
I wish they'd come out with something like that.
Yeah.
And sorry, Luke had a haircut today, and he's like, I don't know if it's raining outside or whatever. He's shaking like a leaf, so he's just chilling with
you. Dude, the views just went up millions right now.
Oh, puppies do that. But yeah, that game's gonna be a hard pass for me.
Yeah, if it's free to play, I would probably download it and at least try it at some point if it's free to play. But I probably would. I probably wouldn't grind it, or I probably wouldn't do anything like that. You know what I mean?
Right. If we're doing something like that, I'd much rather do the what we'll talk about a little later with the multiverses.
Oh yes, yep.
Yeah, I'd rather play that. But yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, they're rebooting the movie. I'm just kind of taking a look right now.
Yeah. So I saw this posted or actually earlier in the week, and I'm like, I'm gonna put this on the agenda right now so I don't forget it. But you know about the whole Johnny Depp conspiracy with Amber Heard and the trial they had,
I just know about the trial they had.
Right.
It was crazy.
So Disney dropped Johnny Depp.
Yep.
And that's kind of now he's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to work for you anymore. It better be very, very lucrative if you're going to offer me back. Well, apparently Disney is not doing that, and they're actually going to just reboot the entire Pirates of the Caribbean franchise with all new cast. What do you? I love those movies, and I love Captain Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp. I love it. Do you think this new reboot is going to flop?
Most likely.
There's not really a lot of details about it right now, other than just that they're going to do it. There was talk about
anyone other than Henry Cavill, it's going to fail.
There was talk about doing an all-female cast of a new Pirates of the Caribbean reboot, and it'd be an all-female cast. So there was talks about that.
With Margot Robbie, though, I'd watch that.
Yeah, buddy. But I don't know. Johnny Depp did such a good job that I'm like, I don't see anybody else being Captain Jack Sparrow or just putting on as good of a pirate vibe anymore.
Oh, he did great. Absolutely fantastic.
Yes, 100%. So anyway,
there was another. I was trying to think. There was another reboot that I think was coming out.
They're doing all kinds
hopefully
of reboots.
I think of it later.
It's ridiculous, man. They can't think of any new ideas. They have to reboot everything.
There's the new Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, Frozen Empire, right?
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind the
Paul Rudd. With Paul Rudd, yeah.
I didn't really mind. I didn't mind one. Mm-hmm. And I do think in this new Frozen Empire one, I think they have a lot more of the original cast doing supportive roles in it. So they're trying to merge the two genres, or the two genres,
right.
the two acting classes. So there's a game that we used to be mains on every Tuesday.
I may have heard of it.
That has been dead game for a while. And,
for a little while. Sounds like maybe there's a little hint of invigoration. Maybe the roots are growing.
So yes and no. Here's the thing. Season 5 just dropped for New World, Season of the Guardian. And they have a lot of updates, right? There's about 7 new artifacts that you can farm for. They've updated some combat animations and combat systems, and just kind of, I think there's a dash in there now, so like you can I can pair that with a lot of new combat animations. There's controller support.
I'm looking through that
right now. So now you can do controller support. And I don't really know much about what or how they did, but they did change up the cooking trade skill. So I don't know if it's more in depth or you can cook new ingredients. I haven't really learned a lot about it yet, but they have changed around the cooking skill. The biggest thing that they added was a new Winter Rune Forge deep dive, and that's a trial, a 10-person raid.
Okay.
So it's kind of similar to like what they did with the Sandworm, right? The Sandworm was 20, but this one is kind of a bigger style raid where it's up to 10 players can do this Winter Rune Forge trial, right? So it's supposed to have a lot of good drops, supposed to have a lot of good, loot with it. And it kind of goes over, I'm kind of showing on stream right now some of the different pictures from it and the different parts throughout the trial that you go through. Well, here's the thing, is controller support, this new winter trial, yes, it's a short-term Band-Aid because apparently this summer at, I believe it's Gamescom or some gaming event this summer, they're supposed to be announcing big, huge changes for the game.
Okay.
1, I think it's coming to a console. 2, I think swimming's coming. 3, these are all rumors, right? 3, they're looking at pets, kind of like how Diablo 4 does like the pet system.
Oh, yeah.
So they're looking at pets as an option. New weapon, like that whole like normal stuff. But apparently this summer, and then also a PvP zone. So a specific place where PvPers can go PvP if they want to get their fix in. So apparently this summer they're doing a big announcement over to what's coming. And apparently it's supposed to be ginormous of what's coming to the game. So this season kind of feels like they added some things to give us some things, but they're just like, wait till season 6. Like, we'll be back in season 6. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I pulled up their Steam charts.
What's it at now?
Yeah.
What's it at now?
Is it still numbers?
Is it still under 10K?
Playing 30 minutes ago, 9,000.
Still under 10K.
The 24-hour peak though was 12,005, 12.5.
Probably people just trying out the new season, I'm guessing.
So all-time peak
today.
913,000. 12-hour peak 12,000.
Man, on New World had one of the best record-breaking launches ever, and it just fell off the face of the earth. Like devs mismanaged this game so bad, and it's frustrating.
But it does look like it consistently gets just above 10K pretty much every day.
Yeah.
That I'm seeing right here. But yeah, it's a far cry from
what Yep. Maybe it's because
3 months.
Maybe it's because we stopped playing it. Did we ruin the game?
Yeah,
I think you and I ruined the game because we stopped playing it.
We did so well.
But anyway, so season 5 just dropped. There's going to be a lot of new information dropping this summer about what's to come in New World. But the vibe I'm getting right now from all the videos and stuff I've watched is, hey, here's some things right now that hopefully will tie you over until season 6 when all the big stuff's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if the game doesn't change after these big drop, and so apparently again it's supposed to be like a Brimstone Sands level free expansion with all of these new things.
He's staring directly into my soul.
So that's kind of what it's supposed to be, and I'm hoping that it does something because I miss the game. I have fun with it. I still enjoy the game. I just hate how no one plays it.
As we talked about before, it's just I was bored. It was the same.
Yeah.
And even though we could make that argument with Helldivers, like, well, aren't you doing the same missions over and over?
Sure.
For some reason, this feels different. Maybe it's like the global collective, where it's like maybe if as a community we had to run like X amount of expeditions or kill X amount of forces in the expeditions to like liberate air, like. It's just, I don't know. There was nothing really left to farm, but it's like, oh, dark matter. Okay, I need more dark matter. I might as well farm some expeditions.
Also, something you got to think about, though, too. We've been doing New World for 2+ years.
Yeah.
We've been doing Helldivers for 2+ months.
It hasn't even been out 2 months, I don't think.
Well, right. So it's like there's still this newness of Helldivers where we haven't sunk hundreds and hundreds of hours into the game yet, like we did New World. You know what I mean?
Now we can get to level 150.
Oh God! Now you're never gonna play any other game ever.
No, never. Pretty much. Robots are dead to me. They must die.
Man, well, hey, our last.
It looks like it's gonna be a pretty busy summer for gaming. It looks like.
I know, yeah, and that's why I kind of put it on there because man, we're getting to the point now where summer gaming is the summer gaming season is just about to take off. Obviously
this first one I've been hearing a lot of buzz about.
Yeah. So
talking about Stellar Blade.
We can add New World into the mix of all of this, but yeah, I just kind of mentioned some of the major games I kind of thought of that are coming out between now and August. And yeah, Stellar Blade, V Rising, full release, Hellblade, A Sinuous Saga, Hellblade 2, Multiverses, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Frostpunk 2, Black Myth Wukong, just to name a few.
Yep.
So
the Stellar Blade's been getting a little buzz online.
What do you? What's your take on it?
Butt cam.
Oh, yeah, that's all we need.
That's what everyone's talking about. Tight latex, well endowed women.
Why would they do this to us?
And butts.
Why would they do this to us?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'll allow it. I don't know. We were talking about on stream the other day jiggle mechanics. There was some what game was it? I forget what it was.
Lost Ark?
Yeah, it's no, but the jiggle mechanics were working. It was like remember the Simpsons episode where the doctor like, oh, let's test your fat by see how long it takes your like rolls to stop like waving, and he pokes it and it's just rippling. Like these women in these video games, they were moving and it just like for 30 seconds it left nothing to the imagination. Oh, Vindictus, thank you, Fuji.
To be fair though, it's been a while since the game has just gone like
they're
full steam for it. Yeah,
I've heard the horny factor is like 10 out of 10.
It's been a while since the game has gone full jiggle mechanics.
That's how I felt about the full jiggle mechanics. And the original video I watched on it was like the re-rise of jiggle mechanics or something like that. Might as well, dude.
I mean, whatever's
just some dude with it just like flopping.
Like that's gonna give you free publicity because imagine all the content creators that are gonna put montages
there's
together.
Gonna be so many people simping after that game. It's gonna be funny.
And imagine even like role players that do like role playing in games, and like using that game as a game to role play.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh, there's some interesting games to role play. Have you ever looked at the Steam page, like games on sale? There are some of them. It's like, oh, I didn't know there was adult games out there. Interesting. Yeah, there's things get weird. Things get weird. Yeah, I think I saw one that it literally said sex with Hitler, and I was like, oh.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
People come up with anything these days.
Yeah, this is a game. Come with anything these days. I see what you did. He didn't even know.
Dang. Did that. Hey, are you gonna play that Elden Ring DLC?
I got to beat Elden Ring to begin with, and with this much democracy, I don't know.
Just tell Dyslexic; he'll beat it for you.
I think this dude's gonna fall asleep right here, dude.
Dyslexic will walk you through Elden Ring easily.
Oh yeah, he did for the most part. That's how I got most of my like weapons and stuff. Is he would like tell me where to go.
Yeah. Am I gonna get you on V Rising this summer?
Nope.
What the fuck? Right away? Just not even thinking about it?
Not really.
Not even like maybe? Not even a maybe?
Did you say? Wait, do they have controller support? Did they say that
in V Rising?
Yeah.
If I said yes, would you play?
Then it would be a hard maybe instead of a definitive no.
Oh man! But anything else on your mind tonight, dude?
Not real. I was just a little curious. There's a game, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a YouTube video.
I still have never watched the movie.
Killer Clowns from here we go, from Outer Space game. All right, I'll go ahead and link the trailer for it. Hold on. Boom. Pause. Wait, that's the video. Hold on.
What's your game, Fuji?
Oh, here we go.
Saying we didn't talk about his game that releases this summer.
What game?
Yeah, that's what we talk about. Frostpunk. First Descendant. What is that?
When does that release though? Oh, there you go, Schmidtty. I put the link there on the Killer Clowns. You can watch it.
Perfect.
But yeah, First Descendant. Isn't that what is that? Is that about monkeys taking over the world? That's got to be right.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's got to be a thing.
Is
that an MMO too? Because I feel like there's so many MMOs around.
Is this like a? Yeah, dude. This is a DBD fucking.
A DBD style game.
Yeah. Interesting.
But for when Killer Clowns from Outer Space, you know what I mean? So it's kind of got that nostalgia there. It'll probably
some 80s vibe here. Dude.
It'll probably be like Friday the 13th was, or like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where they'll have a following for a little bit, but like ultimately it'll die out.
Yeah. Remember Evil Dead? Remember playing
exactly?
Evil Dead?
Yeah, like that had a big following for a little while. Nobody plays it anymore. Yep. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that had a big following for a little bit. Nobody really plays it anymore.
So the First Descendant is like Destiny.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Destiny.
All right, Fuji, whatever. You can have it. I don't want it.
Destiny, dead game.
Dead game. Who plays that?
But anything else on your mind, dude? Because we got to get some Helldivers.
Yeah, not really, dude. I'm ready to shoot some robots.
Let's go. Thank you for tuning in, you guys. We had a lot to talk about, a lot of updates on games, a lot of new things coming out. Let us know in the comments below what game you're excited for the summer gaming season. We'll be sure to talk more about it leading up to the game's release. So I appreciate you being here every Tuesday here on Mr. J Gilbert, twitch.tv or twitch.tv/Schmidtty32's channel. 8:30 p.m. Central Time on Tuesdays. We do have a new episode of the podcast. So we'll see you guys next time. I appreciate you being here. Schmidty, go ahead and give us a proper send-off.
Thank you all again for hanging out tonight on the latest and greatest edition of the After Hours podcast. And we can all say good night to Luke right here.
Good night, Luke.
Got a haircut today. Good night, Luke.
Love you.
But thank you all again. We'll see y'all next week.
I was trying to see if our camera froze. You know, like.
I knew that's what you were going for, but it didn't work. You fooled me maybe for a second.
See, you were kind of frozen, but Luke was moving, so I'm like, oh, it didn't work.
Yeah, he's just inconsolable. Are you gonna let me play video games? He's like, Dad, I just want to lay with you this whole time.
What a lazy bum, dude. For real.
I mean.